This is a Clovis stone point. First unearthed in the 1920s near Clovis, New Mexico, its discovery changed North American archaeology forever, and is considered by many to be North America's first invention. Its sudden appearance in prehistoric North America, around 13,050 years ago, marked a period of rapid population growth in the region and cultural expansion, as nearly every part of the continent was visited by people wielding the distinctive Clovis stone points. To date, around 4,400 Clovis points have been found all over North America. For decades, archaeologists argued that the early Americans making and wielding these points were the first Americans, but in recent times, numerous sites that predate Clovis sites have been found. Though these pre-Clovis sites are becoming increasingly accepted by archaeologists, they are geographically scattered and unrelated to each other compared to the Clovis sites. Join me as we explore the Clovis culture, a culture which laid the groundwork for countless regional Native American cultures to begin developing. There were people already in North America between 14,000 and 13,000 years ago. Evidence such as the Paisley Cave site in Oregon and the footprints in New Mexico attest to this. When they first arrived, they would have soon noticed that the continent was teeming with megafauna, and they would have likely set their minds towards inventing ways to turn them into a valuable resource. At around 13,500 years ago, the Laurentide and Cordilleran ice sheets began to recede, transforming the southerly lands that had once been a patchy landscape of forests and grasslands into the regional environments that we are familiar with today. Amidst all of this, at around 13,050 years ago, the Clovis culture suddenly appeared. What made them different from the pre-Clovis peoples were the sophisticated stone points that the culture made. The development of these points have no precedent in the archaeological record. There is nothing of comparable nature in any of the pre-Clovis sites. Unlike the scattered and often unrelated pre-Clovis sites, the Clovis people made their presence known throughout the entire continent, as their stone points have been found all across North America. It is impossible to say for sure if a single cultural entity was responsible for all these stone points, but the archaeological community generally agrees that the quick spread of the stone points across North America, all bearing the same unique and unprecedented style, is evidence that a single way of life, or culture, spread all over the continent. The Clovis culture spread out far and wide across all the environmental regions of North America, from the glacial tundra, to spruce parklands, to deciduous forests, and to grasslands. Even terrain made recently accessible by retreating glaciers would have been used despite being largely barren, save for the occasional herd of caribou, as these animals would have been certainly hunted by the Clovis people. In contrast, the southerly regions of North America had much diversity in game and edible plants, so the Clovis people there would have had varied diets. As the Clovis culture spread across the North American continent, the human population boomed. In a typical year, Clovis people would traverse vast distances and would only stay in certain areas for short amounts of time. When they did stay in one spot, they liked to camp out upon terrain with low elevation, near rivers and streams, as these locations had abundant plant sources and was where animals came to eat. Many of the remains of their campsites have been found around the Cumberland, Tennessee region and the Ohio River valleys in the eastern part of North America. Larger groups of people, and possibly multiple hunter-gatherer bands, might have congregated at these spots to find mating partners, or to reconnect with people they had not seen in a while. Exposed formations of high-quality rock were also commonplace in these areas, and provided plenty of raw materials for tool construction. People likely only stayed near stone sources for brief periods of time to make their tools, after which they would travel to a different destination. Though the onset of their appearance led to a population explosion on the continent, the population densities of their wandering bands and campsites were very low. Clovis people likely also favored coastal plains, as they would have been abundant with sources of marine food, but we will never know for sure, as many of these regions are now submerged in water. Materials from the Clovis culture in eastern North America seem minimal, which has led some scientists to think that the entire region generally was settled a little after central and western North America. Most likely, as soon as the ice retreated, Clovis people entered the eastern part of North America from the west, and then moved north and northeast. In the southern region of the Great Plains, Clovis people created campsites that were very large. These were in many cases located on the edge of the region, near sources of stone. It is theorized by scientists that the Clovis people periodically ventured into the interior of the plains in search of megafauna to hunt. The Galt site in central Texas is one of these Great Plains campsites and was highly favored by the Clovis people. It was a large campsite and workshop adjacent to a spring and a small stream, and has provided researchers valuable information on the Clovis way of life. Within the soils of the Galt site, mammoth remains as well as those of bison and horses have been found in association with numerous tools such as Clovis points. A few small limestone rocks that were found with engraved geometric shapes on them oriented in a pattern may even be evidence of Clovis culture art and spirituality. Some of these patterns appear to replicate the shapes and appearances of leaves. At other sites, rock art has been found, as well as evidence of the use of red ochre. This substance has been used by other early American cultures for ritual and artistic purposes, and was likely used for the same reasons by the makers of Clovis technology. It appears it may have been just as valued as stone sources, as red ochre from Clovis sites have been found up to 62 miles away from their sources. The Clovis point technology likely developed somewhere on the Great Plains, or in the Southwest, as the earliest dated points have been found in Texas. Points found further north, such as in Alaska, date much later. This is likely because at some point, Clovis people likely migrated north towards Alaska, in pursuit of bison, and upon meeting the groups of people there, shared their technology with them. Furthermore, scientists have also looked into whether prehistoric Siberians ever made their own Clovis points, but none have ever been found in the region. The Clovis stone points very well may be the first invention of the Americas. The stone points are typically about 4 inches long and about 1/3 of an inch in thickness. However, some Clovis points grew to become very elaborate, as evidenced from the Ritchie Roberts site near East Wenatchee, Washington, which has some of the largest Clovis points ever found, measuring over 9 inches long. Clovis points also have a distinctive flute or channel running up along each side of the blade, starting from the bottom and going to the middle, or in some cases close to the tip of the point. The precise purpose of these flutes is not known for sure, but archaeologists are certain that they were carved into the points to allow them to be more easily secured to the end of a wooden shaft. Others have theorized that the flutes were purely just for show. In fact, the precise purpose of the Clovis stone points themselves has not been conclusively established, as for example, no Clovis points have ever been found in association with or attached to a wooden shaft. However, scientists are certain that the Clovis stone points were used on the tips of spears, or were used as darts that were thrown using an atlatl. They also certainly were used in a variety of other tasks, such as for cutting. The fluted sections of the stone points are the most sophisticated element, as they required considerable skill to produce. Breakage during construction was common, especially when creating the flutes on each side of the stone point. The bottom third of the stone points were dull, so that the base was strengthened, and so that there would not be any sharp edges that could tear apart adhesive or rope technology fastening the stone point to a wooden shaft. There have been some Clovis points found with the rounded surfaces of their flutes all scratched up. Archaeologists think that this may have been done to make the sections less smooth and slippery, and therefore more easily attachable to a wooden shaft. Another possible advantage of creating fluted sides on both faces of the stone points was that it made the stone point thinner, and therefore easier to thrust between the ribs of large animals. Despite the vast distances separating Clovis Point archaeological sites, the points that have been dug up are incredibly similar in shape, which implies a considerable degree of prehistorical relatedness. Even though the archaeological sites encompass such vast distances, everyone who used these points may have been part of a single culture. More perishable items associated with culture, if ever found, may however reveal variation in the different bands of people using Clovis points. Alongside their famed Clovis points, the Clovis people also made other stone tools, such as scrapers made from the byproducts of Clovis point production. The Clovis people also made numerous other types of complex tools out of bone and ivory. Some of these tools were carved into wrench-like shapes, or they were turned into bevel tools, such as levers, points, or foreshafts. They also likely possessed hunting nets, and likely carried around large high-quality stones with them wherever they went, so that they could create tools out of them on the go. While on the move and far away from sources of high-quality stone, these people would also resharpen existing stone points as needed. When the stone points got too small after repeated resharpening, they were repurposed as scrapers, awls, and other tools. All of these items would have been carried on their backs as they moved from campsite to campsite. Clovis people favored using high-quality chert, jasper, and obsidian to make their stone tools, and especially their spear points. The Clovis people would travel vast distances to sites that had these types of stone. Projectile stone points are often found up to 200 miles away from the high-quality stone sources that they could have been made from. A cache of Clovis points found in what is now northeastern Colorado was made of dolomite from a site 364 miles away in the Texas Panhandle region. Particular hunter-gatherer groups may have had a specific preference for the kinds of stones they wanted. The stone sources were limited and located in only certain areas, which has led many archaeologists to believe that Clovis people guarded their preferred stone sources. Up to 20 caches of Clovis points have been found in areas ranging from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains and to the northwestern area of North America. Archaeologists have theorized that Clovis points may have been buried by Clovis hunters who came upon unfamiliar territory. They think that the Clovis hunters, coming upon unknown lands, might have gotten concerned about being so far from known sources of high-quality stone to make tools, and as a result buried some of their Clovis points so as not to lose them during their course of roaming. Alternatively, other scientists think that the bands of hunter-gatherers would bury valuable tools to symbolically transform a new area into a familiar one. Bolstering this theory on Clovis spiritual beliefs is the Crowfield Early Paleo-Indian site in what is now southwestern Ontario. At the site, there was found 182 tools that seem to have been destroyed on purpose and buried. Other archaeologists think that these buried caches of materials were meant to be stored away for future use by people who had lived in an area for a long time and knew the landscape well. Clovis people often buried their stone points among river valleys and nearby hilly areas. These burials were likely just for the assuredly coveted stone points, as nothing else is ever found in these caches. Archaeologists think that the stone points were buried by groups of hunter-gatherers, consisting of no more than 50 to 70 people. Aside from Clovis Point cache sites, most of what we know about Clovis culture comes from sites associated with hunted and butchered animals. In fact, many of the sites containing Clovis points also contain Megafauna remains in direct association with the points. The remains of mammoths, followed by large bison, are the two most common animals found in association with the Clovis points. Many of the sites with megafauna associations are concentrated in the central part of North America, with only a few sites known in the eastern part of North America. Furthermore, many butcher or kill sites are located in marshy areas. This could be because these areas could have trapped mammoths easier, but could also just mean the marshes preserved living things better. For example, the Murray Springs Clovis site in Arizona includes mammoth remains, a meat processing area, and a campsite adjacent to a spring. Though Clovis people certainly hunted large megafauna, they also hunted a variety of other animals as well, such as deer, rabbits, and horses. It is unclear to scientists if Clovis people were specialists in hunting large game. Instead, the hunters likely often spared themselves the dangerous activity of bringing down the largest megafauna in favor of focusing on hunting ones that were young, old, or sick, or that were immobilized by nature in some way. Due to most sites consisting of stone points or megafauna remains, there is not much information on other aspects of everyday Clovis culture. Though the plains and the Rocky Mountains have produced sites with large deposits of Clovis materials that include not just stone points, but also bifaces, bone tools, and the raw materials used to make them, there are only a few known Clovis campsites and stone quarry sites. The lack of variation in the sites has led some archaeologists to suggest that Clovis people were very mobile compared to other hunter-gatherers who succeeded them on the continent. The Clovis people may have had vast territories that they roamed upon, and likely moved about as an entire band. This contrasts to later hunter-gatherer groups that may have regularly sent out small groups on hunting or foraging tasks that were expected to return back to the group's permanent settlements within a short time span. However, the mobility of the Clovis lifestyle would have made them resilient to starvation, as they could have always just traveled to an entirely new area if certain areas were devoid of food sources. Thus far, only a few human remains from the Clovis people have been found. The two most important are the Buell woman from Idaho and the Anzac I remains from Montana. Found near Wilsaw, Montana in 1968, the remains of Anzac I are that of an infant male. Alongside the remains were found over 100 bone and stone artifacts covered in red ochre. DNA analysis of the remains concluded that he was an ancestor to many contemporary Native American groups. It was found that he was more related to modern groups from Central and South America, which seems to indicate that by the time of the heyday of Clovis culture, the early Americans had already split off into numerous genetically different groups. The male infant was also found to be genetically close to the inhabitants of Siberia, indicating that the Clovis people had a clear Asian origin. Contrary to popular conceptions, the Clovis people did not hunt megafauna to extinction, nor did they even likely have a hand in contributing in any way to their extinction, as there were so many different species living in a vast array of different environments. Furthermore, there were not even enough Clovis people to single-handedly drive all megafauna to extinction. Instead, scientists think that climate change was a far more likely factor in their demise. Some 12,950 years ago, the Younger Dryas era began, which was when the Earth experienced a sudden and severe ice age, leading to drops in temperature and a return to glacial conditions. Scientists think that the time frame leading up to this cooling phase and the cooling phase itself may have been primary factors in the extinction of the megafauna. Though it was relatively brief, it occurred extremely fast, and it is argued that megafauna were unable to adapt so quickly to the fluctuation. According to a study done on fungal spores that once resided in animals, megafauna went extinct between 14,800 and 13,700 years ago. Archaeologists studied the amount of spore fungus found in an Indiana lake, and found that as the spores decreased in number in the archaeological record, more types of plants came into being. It is thought that this is evidence of large grazing animals disappearing, leading to the development of new plants, which grew to occupy and exploit the newly vacant niche. In recent times, a widely different theory has been proposed to explain the disappearance of megafauna and the Clovis people who hunted them. According to the theorists, a comet struck the regions north of the Great Lakes area in North America about 12,900 years ago. The comet then caused continent-wide fires that led to the wiping out of Clovis cultures and the megafauna they hunted. So much soot would have been kicked up into the atmosphere that a nuclear winter effect would have set in, bringing about the cooling of the Younger Dryas era. Bolstering this theory are the black mats, or dark material, that has long been observed at Clovis archaeological sites. Furthermore, all sites date to about the same time as the proposed comet impact. The black mat material also contains iridium, which is an element found in comets and meteors. Proponents of the theory have further pointed out that the Clovis sites were abandoned at around the same time as the comet impact. However, there has been no evidence discovered of a drop in the human population. There are in fact numerous instances of hunter-gatherer societies resiliently living through an impact event, as evidenced from the archaeological sites around the world, revealing unaffected human activity that date to the time during and after the Toba supervolcano eruption that occurred 75,000 years ago. New work will be required to prove the comet impact theory and the resulting hypothesized megafauna mass extinctions. But if it does get approved, then it could cause a paradigm shift in the way early Americans in North America are studied. At the beginning of the Younger Dryas era, some 12,950 years ago, the Clovis culture began to splinter into numerous regional variations, who each made their own unique-looking stone points and tools. Fluting technology on stone points disappeared at around this time. Archaeologists think that once the megafauna became extinct, the technology was no longer needed anymore. Rising population levels on the continent restricted the movement of the once small hunter-gatherer bands, and as a result, people began traveling shorter distances to important locations, such as high-quality stone sources. This is evidenced by the archaeological discovery of stone points found at ever closer locations to stone sources. With the decrease in travel distances, the inhabitants of each region of North America began to gradually develop their own styles of making stone points. In tandem with this, hunter-gatherer bands spread out to a wider range of environments and adopted a more diverse array of food. The Clovis culture cropped up suddenly, 13,050 years ago, before disappearing 12,800 years ago. This 250-year time span is brief in the context of the larger prehistoric timeline, yet the culture accomplished so much and laid the groundwork for future generations to survive and thrive in prehistoric North America and beyond. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed my documentary, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/World Chronicles.